Myth number one, you can survive a nuclear blast inside a refrigerator. So we all know how Billy survived the Great War by hiding inside a refrigerator. And in the Fallout TV show, Maximus also survives as a kid by taking shelter inside a refrigerator when Shady Sands is destroyed by a nuclear blast. But can you really survive? Or is it just a fun gag? To test this, I'll surround the refrigerator with a bunch of nuke mines, get inside, throw a frag grenade, and quickly shut the door. What? I survived, and wow, I'm taking a lot of radiation damage, but I did survive the blast. Now, let's test this further with a regular NPC. I'll place a settler inside the refrigerator, close the door, and launch 6 mini nukes directly at it. Yup, he survived too. I even had the youngest submarine launch a nuclear missile at me while I was hiding inside the refrigerator, and I still lived. So yeah, myth confirmed. Somehow, a refrigerator can protect you from a nuclear blast, and it can even stop bullets. Who knew? Myth number two, you can incinerate bodies in the Mechanist's lair. If you've ever played the Automatron DLC, you're probably familiar with the Mechanist's lair, also known as the United States of America Robotics Technology Facility, where before the bombs dropped, US military personnel and General Atomics scientists operated on prisoners by removing their brains to create the robo-brains we see in the post-war Commonwealth. The bodies of these prisoners were incinerated right inside the facility, and it seems the furnace is still functioning. So let's see if our unsuspecting test subject will turn into ash or not. I'll move them into the furnace using the old harpoons in a bucket technique. Alright, they died. Now I'll take the body and push it against the furnace to see if it burns up. Nope, it doesn't seem like it. I tried this with a different NPC, but the result was the same. The NPC will start burning and eventually die, but the body won't disappear or turn into ash. So, myth busted. Feral ghouls can see the mysterious stranger and will attack him. Apparently, if the mysterious stranger appears and helps you kill a feral ghoul while it's in a pack of other feral ghouls, the other ferals will react and attack him. To test this, I'll spawn in a bunch of feral ghouls and keep hidden using stealth boys. I'll take a shot at one of them and see if I can trigger the mysterious stranger. There he is! Now I'll slow down time in-game and see what the ghouls do. Oh my god, they're attacking him! And he's just standing there taking it. But I don't think the ghouls are actually doing any damage. Cool, myth confirmed. Overboss Coulter is still invincible without his power armor. You know how you have to use the Thirst Zapper to break down Coulter's shield in the Nuka World DLC before you're able to kill him? Well, there are claims that if you force him out of his power armor, he will still be invincible unless you use the Thirst Zapper on him, which honestly makes no sense. I'm going to use a console command to force Coulter out of his power armor. Eat lead, Coulter. No, I still can't damage him. Okay, let me use the Thirst Zapper. What the hell? What just happened to him? But now I can damage him. So I guess this means his invincibility is tied to his character rather than the power armor itself. So this one is surprisingly true. Uncle Ken will appear in Dima's trial and support you. If you help out Mitch's uncle at the visitor's center, Mitch will speak in support of you during Dima's trial. But apparently, if you convince Uncle Ken to leave the visitor's center and go live with Mitch in Far Harbor, he will also appear and speak during the trial. Let's see, there's Mitch.
What? The mainlander threatened me. Chased me from my home. Alan's a good boy, listen to him.
What? He does appear, but the ingrate is supporting Alan Lee instead of you. So after everything you do for him, risk your neck. If you convince him to leave his land, he'll basically cancel out Mitch's positive vote. Great. You can pacify Swan the Behemoth. Apparently, Swan can only level up to level 50, so if I'm at least level 60 or higher and have the Wasteland Whisperer perk, supposedly I should be able to pacify him. Let's give it a try. I quick-saved before attempting it and...
Stop right there!
Nope. Let's try that again. Nope.
Stop.
Nuh-uh. Didn't do it. Oh,
Shoot
finally.
his friend.
After numerous tries, he's pacified and is following my commands. It's hard for him to navigate through the buildings in Boston, but man, does he kick ass. A Mirelurk shell can block bullets and acid. According to the Mariner in Far Harbor, Mirelurk shells can protect you from a Mirelurk queen's acid, so that's the first thing I'm going to test. I trapped a queen in one of my settlements, so she can't use her melee attacks on me, and got myself a Mirelurk shell. Let's see if it protects me from the acid she spits. Yup, it does. I also tested this with a behemoth throwing rocks, and man, this baby's indestructible. Next, I'll see if the shell protects you from bullets. I'll place a turret and see if it can penetrate the shell. So it seems the turret treats it as an object in front of you and won't even shoot at you, even if you're standing directly in front of it. And it's the same with NPCs. So instead, I'll be the one shooting and have a regular settler hide behind one of these carapaces. Yup, the shell can protect against bullets too. It's like carrying around a giant shield. Myth confirmed. Jared Gresham pays you for every survivor you save. Right at the beginning of the Far Harbor DLC, you'll have to help the people of Far Harbor defend the hull against the creatures of the fog. Optionally, you can also protect the 4 survivors locked outside the gate and make sure they don't die. Supposedly, depending on how many survivors survive the fight, Jared, the group's leader, will give you extra caps for every survivor. So first I'll try saving all of them.
Avery and the others were just doing their jobs, but you ain't one of us. We owe you, and Harbormen pay their debts. Here.
Okay, Jared rewarded me with 140 caps. Now let's see what happens if only he survives.
We're all still in one piece. Can't hardly believe it.
So he has the same reaction as if all the other survivors were alive, and once again gave me 140 caps. Odd. After extensive testing, it seems that no matter if one survivor or no survivors stay alive, Jared will always react as if everyone survived. So I looked through the game files, and he clearly has unique reactions for either only himself staying alive, or for 1 or 2 survivors staying alive with him, while the others die. So I restored the 2 non-functioning reactions to see if the amount of caps he gives me changes.
Appreciate the help, Mainlander. Looks like I'm the only one who made it. Damn shame. Don't take it too hard. You did what you could. We all did. Avery and the others were just doing their jobs. But you ain't one of us. I owe you. Here. Appreciate the help, Mainlander. Hell of a fight. It's a shame about the others, but you helped us pull through. Avery and the others were doing their jobs. You ain't one of us. We owe you. And I'm gonna take the debts. Here.
No, it doesn't seem so. At least not on the PC version, so I have to call this myth busted. If X688 is brought to the Brotherhood-occupied airport, the spotlights there will lock onto him and start beeping. Okay, I got X688 as my companion. Now I'll go closer to the airport and see if the Brotherhood spotlights lock onto him.
Move out.
Oh wow, yeah, they do. And they
Over
even
there.
start making a sound. They don't attack him though, but I definitely didn't know that the spotlight could lock onto him like that. You won't take fall damage when landing on hay bales. If you've ever played Assassin's Creed, you know that you can fall from incredibly high heights into hay bales and survive. But can you do that in Fallout 4? So I built a pretty tall tower to jump from, and placed a ton of hay bales at the bottom underneath me. Alright, let's do it. Ah no, you definitely take damage. In fact, you freaking die. Not true. You can defeat One-Eyed Ike with only your fists. In Dry Rock Gulch, during high noon at the Gulch, you'll have to defeat the One-Eyed Ike Protectron in a duel using Western revolvers. But there's a myth out there that claims you don't actually need to use the revolver to defeat Ike. You can do it by just punching him. I challenged Ike. Now let's see.
1, 2, 3. Draw. Nice fisticuffs. Not exactly in the rules for a shootout, but I guess it showed you were faster than me.
Yup, myth confirmed. In fact, you can also defeat him using explosives and other melee weapons, which causes him to have some funny reactions.
Swinging something at my face ain't exactly in the rules. Wait, never mind, just don't hit me again. Girl, not sure if blowing me up should count, but I think you're too plumb crazy for me to argue.
You can kill all the raiders on top of the cages in the final stretch of the gauntlet. In the gauntlet, during the audience participation in the Nuka World DLC, the Nuka World Raiders in the final stretch will shoot at you from the top of the cages you're running through. If we free cam, we can actually observe that the raiders will take a couple of shots at you, then run towards the parking garage and disappear. It seems they endlessly spawn on one side, run over to take shots at you, and then disappear. So is it possible to actually kill all of them, or will they just keep coming? Using God Mode and TCL, I'll move myself on top and start killing them to see if I can actually eliminate all of them. Well, I've been waiting here for a while and no other raiders have spawned, so it looks like a total of 12 raider characters will spawn and take shots at you, and you can kill all of them. Mini nukes can be detonated by other explosives. To test this, I'll place a perfectly good mini nuke on the ground and throw a fragmentation grenade at it. Nothing happened. Next, I'll try detonating it with a Nuka quantum grenade. Still nothing. Maybe another mini nuke will do the trick. Nope. Even shooting it won't set it off. Myth busted. The people of Far Harbor can defeat the island's creatures after the fog condensers are turned off. If you decide to turn off the fog condensers protecting Far Harbor, all the residents there get killed by the island's creatures storming the dock. What's interesting about this whole scene is that apparently the script responsible for this carnage kills half the residents in town even before the battle starts, and leaves the other half to fight in order to make sure the townsfolk actually lose and all get killed. But what if everyone was still alive? Can they turn the tide and defeat the creatures? I'm going to place identical copies of the residents that appear automatically dead in my game, like Brooks and Sandra, using the creation kit, and disable their essential protected status. I'll also move Mitch and Debbie out of the last plank. Let the battle begin.
Jesus.
They definitely put up a better fight, but despite the extra numbers, the creatures still killed everyone. If you wipe out all the settlements in the Commonwealth, you can bypass the vassal part during the Home Sweet Home quest in Nuka World. That's a long title for a myth, but essentially, there are rumors on the internet claiming that before starting the Home Sweet Home quest with Shank and invading the Commonwealth, if you kill off all the human settlements beforehand, Shank will skip the vassal part of the quest. Normally, you have to convince a settlement to supply your raider gang with food and caps, but apparently Shank will have unique dialogue if there are no settlements left to turn into vassals. So I cleared out all the settlements and went through Nuka World's main quest again until I reached the point where Shank would normally tell you to get a vassal settlement to supply the newly created raider settlement.
Now, normally the next step would be provisions, convincing or beating a settlement into sending us shipments of supplies to keep our folks fed and happy. Unfortunately, doesn't look like our outpost has any targets in range at the moment. Also means there won't be any caps coming in from frightened settlers. But it seems we have a more pressing issue on our hands.
Yeah, look at that, it's true. One thing to note while testing this myth, this can only be done if you don't help Preston Garvey and the people in Concord settle in Sanctuary Hills. The reason is that the game considers Sanctuary a settlement that can be vassalized, and characters like Sturgis and Marcy are marked as essential, meaning they can't be killed. You can kill Oswald the Outrageous in the theater before he teleports to the castle's roof. So I'll be using a fat man with a MIRV launcher and sending 6 mini nukes right into Oswald's face the moment he appears in the theater. I have the heavy gunner and demolition expert perks maxed out. I can one-shot a nuclear queen with this baby. Here we go. Well, he's gone, but it looks like he survived. Let me try that again, but this time I'll disable his essential status. Nope, he still survived. Looking through the game files, it seems the game's script is set to teleport Oswald to a secret room immediately after he's been downed. Not even disabling his essential status changes that. He'll always survive, so it's not true. A ceiling fan will stop if something blocks its blades. To test this, I will build a ceiling fan and try to jam this lead pipe between the blades. It stopped, and I can even push it around. I wonder if I can stop it with my character's body. I'll build a bed underneath it and jump onto the bed. Well, it slowed down, but it's still going, slicing through my character's head. But if I use objects, I can definitely stop the fan. You only need one piece of a Giddy Up Buttercup toy horse to complete the Giddy Up Kid's task in Nuka World. In Dry Rock Gulch, the Giddy Up Kid robot will task you with finding and returning a Giddy Up Buttercup toy horse to its corral. But apparently, you don't even need a complete horse. You can just grab a single leg from the toy, and the robot will still see the quest is completed, and even have a unique reaction to it.
Oh no. What happened to Giddy Up Buttercup? It was those darn outlaws, wasn't it? They butchered her up like a cow.
You can start the ultimate UFO ride without the hobologists inside it. Unfortunately, after restoring the ultimate UFO ride in the Nuka World junkyard for the hobologists, you can't ride it again once the quest is complete. The ride simply won't start. But is it possible to start the ride before all the hobologists get inside, and can we ride it alone? Let's quickly tell Dara that the spaceship is ready and then run inside. Oh, okay, it looks like they spawn inside the ride, but you can start it before they all get into their places, which looks kinda funny. I tried this a couple of times and even froze Dara in place, but the other members still spawned inside the spaceship. The only difference is that once the ride starts, it keeps going forever because Dara isn't triggering her voice lines due to being frozen outside, so this myth is busted. You only need to wait 2 hours for the Vault 88 candidates to arrive. In the Vault-Tec Workshop DLC, after building the Overseer's desk for Barstow, she will ask you to turn on the Vault 88's radio beacon to recruit some guinea pigs for her experiments. Once that's done, she'll suggest that you explore the rest of the Vault 88 while she waits for the new candidates to arrive. Most of us usually go ahead and clear out the rest of the vault, but it turns out you don't have to do that to progress the questline. If you simply wait for 2 hours, the candidates will arrive and the Model Citizen quest will progress forward. You can kill the spectators in the Nuka-Cola arena during the fight with Coulter or while doing your own fights after becoming the overboss. A bunch of raiders from the 3 Nuka World gangs will always be watching and cheering until the fights are over. But is it possible to kill them all? First, I'll try killing them during the Coulter fight. I'll freeze Coulter and try shooting the spectating raiders through the openings in the fence. Alright, now I'll just straight up no-clip behind the fence and see if I can shoot them then. Yeah, they're not even reacting. It's like shooting at ghosts. I tried the same thing during my own fights, and yeah, they're invincible. Can't kill them. Sito knows how to operate power armor and will steal it. Apparently, Sito the Wild Man, who is encountered in the Safari Park in the Nuka World DLC, somehow knows how to operate power armor and will take it if it's available. So let's see if it's true. I have Sito with me here, and I'll exit the power armor. Now I'll spawn in a Gator Claw and see what Sito does. Oh my god, he's actually stealing it. Wow, well, myth confirmed. I guess everyone in Fallout 4 knows how to operate power armor. The synth Cole becomes High Confessor Tectus' replacement in the Far Harbor DLC. This is more of a detail than a myth, but if you chose to side with Dima and replace High Confessor Tectus with a synth in order to bring peace between all the factions on the island in the Far Harbor DLC, you can go down to the second floor and interact with Cole, who will reveal that he's going to be operated on and transformed into Tectus.
So, sounds like I'm gonna be the next High Confessor? Great. Great. Adam demands it! That was good, right? Wonder if I'll remember anything at all after the operation.
There are even more details to this. After getting Martin's holotapes, you can walk down to the third floor and discover that the doors and terminal to the lab where the synth operations take place will be inaccessible, and Cole won't be found anywhere. Then, after dealing with the real Tectus and finishing the quest, the lab becomes accessible again. However, now a lot more blood will be splattered around the medical gurney, along with dish rags and other instruments appearing on the table. You can shatter toilets with nuke mines. So this myth claims that the ceramic toilets we can find and build in the Commonwealth can be blown up and shattered by one of the most powerful mines in the game, the nuke mine. I'll place a couple of them in and around these broken toilet bowls and then throw a frag grenade to trigger them. What an explosion! But the toilets did not shatter. Myth busted. Giving Mama Murphy chems after the main storyline is finished will provide insight into the ending you chose. Supposedly, after siding with one of the main factions and finishing the game, you can give Mama Murphy chems and she will give you a vision about your victory and faction. So I sided with the Brotherhood and blew up the Institute. Now I'll wait a couple of days and then go see Mama Murphy for a vision.
You're wearing a suit of steel and energy. You're standing with your brothers. Your mission accomplished. I see a land secured, contained. Dangerous objects taken from those who don't understand, those who can't be trusted. You are the uniform, and you wear it well. And your rank and chain of command protect you better than the thickest armor.
And yeah, she gives you a kind of a post-game victory vision. I didn't know that. If you stand on top of the geysers in Quincy Quarries, your radiation will skyrocket. In the Quincy Quarries, there are little geysers that are constantly going off. Supposedly, they emit crazy amounts of radiation. Let's see if it's true. So there is some radiation in this area, but nothing too crazy. Oh yeah, never mind. This is definitely true. The operator training dummy can kill you. There are rumors out there that these training dummies can kill you. To test this myth, first I'll see if this training dummy in the parlor can kill me. No, he's not damaging me. And it looks like the knives are just going straight through my character. Okay, now let's try building one in our settlement and see if that one's any different. Nope, same thing. The knives just go through without inflicting any damage. You can kill NPCs with a junk mortar. So I built a junk mortar, lowered it to 75 degrees, and placed a bunch of junk inside it, like bowling balls, lead bars, wood planks, and other stuff. I'll place one of the settlers in front of it, and make sure its power is set to 10. Let's see if the settler can survive this. Okay, he did. Let's try that again. Nope, the junk mortar can't kill NPCs. Myth busted. Cabot House restocks all its loot every 24 hours. Alright, I've talked to Jack Cabot and can now more or less walk around their house unbothered. I'll steal the Zeta gun, the Fat Man in Edward's room, and clean out his steamer trunk. Now I'll go wait in Sanctuary for 24 in-game hours, fast travel back, and re-enter the house. Would you look at that? The Zeta gun has respawned. Now let's take a look at Edward's room. Yup, a new Fat Man. And the trunk is full of stuff again. A burning shish kebab will scare away creatures. In the real world, animals like wolves and rats are afraid of fire and will flee from it. But is this also true in Fallout 4? When I equip the shish kebab, it already emits a steady stream of small bluish flames. But when I swing the sword, the fire immediately starts burning much hotter and brighter. So first, we'll see if we can scare away Far Harbor's wolves. Flee, you beasts! Ugh, they don't care. Even if I strike them with the burning blade, they won't run away. Okay, what about vicious dogs? Same thing. Well, maybe the rats in Nuka World will react differently? Nope, doesn't seem to be the case. Unfortunately, a burning shish kebab can't scare away creatures. You can identify which of your settlers is a synth by their damage resistance. Ah, the old question that many Fallout 4 players ask to this day. How do you find out which of your settlers in your settlements is a synth? One method that supposedly reveals this is having the perception perk. Essentially, the myth claims that when you use VATS, it will show you their damage resistance. So if you aim at a settler and use VATS, their defense should be 0, unless you gave them some armor. So if you see a new settler with damage or energy resistance, they are supposedly a synth. To test this, I became enemies with the Institute and set up a couple of settlements and made sure the recruitment radio beacons were active. Then after a few days, I went around the settlements with my perception perk and killed any settler that had damage resistance. But after killing them, not a single one dropped a synth component to confirm that they were a synth. I did this for a while longer, but unless I'm doing something wrong, it doesn't look like this method is true. Rad-X can be stacked to increase your radiation resistance. Each dose of Rad-X increases radiation resistance by 100 for a limited time. But is it possible to take Rad-X over and over again to keep increasing your resistance? I'll test this in Quincy Quarries again. First, I'll stand on one of the geysers and take only one Rad-X. Then I'll take 50. Yup, I'm barely getting any radiation. Myth confirmed. Kate can enter Kellogg's memories. Apparently, if you have Kate as your companion during the Dangerous Minds quest, she can sometimes enter and appear inside the memory sequence with you. First, I'll get Kate and then go through the main quest line until I reach the moment when Dr. Amari sends me into Kellogg's memories. I'll quick save before entering the pod and place Kate next to it. Here we go.
Can you hear me?
Hello, Kate? Are you in here? I don't think she's here. I'll try this a couple of more times. I'll reload my quick save, enter the memories, and look around for Kate. Sadly, after doing this for who knows how many times, I think I have to call this myth busted. You can destroy the rocks thrown by behemoths before they hit you. They throw the rocks really fast, so I'm going to use Jet to slow down time and see if I can shoot and destroy it mid-air before it reaches me. Hell yeah! That's really cool. Myth confirmed. You can survive a bathtub full of frag grenades if you're on Jet. Okay, I got a bunch of Jet and a bathtub full of grenades. I'm gonna get in there, hit the Jet, and trigger the grenades. Whoa, how did I survive? I guess it's true. You can kill members of the Children of Adam and still join them in the Far Harbor DLC. Supposedly, if you kill members of the Children of Adam around the island, you'll still be able to start the Visions in the Fog quest with Grand Zealot Richter and join the cult like nothing happened. So to test if it's true, first I'll kill the Child of Adam that appears just before we reach Acadia with Longfellow. Then I'll find more around the island. You can see they're already hostile towards me. I'll kill them and then head to the nucleus. Well, they're not shooting me. I'll go grab the mother icon and see if they let me in.
Adam above.
Huh, I guess it's true. They do treat their members as expendable, so it kind of makes sense. You can kill NPCs by shooting their dismembered limbs. This one's a little gross, but I have a dismembered arm over here, and I'll shoot it with my pistol to see if the ghoul's health goes down. What? That's crazy. It's true. You can eat the alien from the crashed UFO. I'll head to the crashed UFO site near Oberlin Station and follow the alien's blood splatters to a nearby cave. There he is! I'll shoot him and see if I can eat him using my cannibal perk. Oh yeah, yummy. Myth confirmed. It's impossible to remove all limbs from a ghoul without killing them. I feel like this should be true, so I'll start chopping off this glowing one's limbs one by one. There go the arms. And both of the legs are gone, but he's still alive. Surprisingly, a ghoul can survive without its limbs. He'll just keep living like this. The dead mutated beach, the dolphins can explode. We've all seen these mutated dolphins, or sometimes called whales, lying around the beaches of the Commonwealth, with their bellies ripped open. But apparently, the ones that are still intact, with their bellies not ripped open, can explode and damage you. To find out if this is true, I located an intact dead one, beached south of Kingsport Lighthouse, and I'll start punching it to see if it explodes. Ugh, gross. Yup, they will explode and even slightly damage you. Now my character's covered in fish guts.